Okay, so I'm here at the little spot that I like, kind of a little park area. It's kind of next to the road, so might be a little bit of noise. But yeah, got my bag of mangoes. I've got more than this. I think I got 11 mangoes from this little store there for like $6. And then I also got this other variety. I don't actually know the name of this variety, but it seems like a pretty common variety in Mexico, or at least around Oaxaca, where I'm at. So yeah, I also got a Tulfo mango somewhere in here, so that way I can kind of do like a taste test or something like that with all 3 of the mangoes. And yeah, I noticed like my eyes are a little sunken in and all that, and I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night, which is usually the case after I'm coming off of a fast of more than like 3 or 4 days, when I go into like a real ketosis mode. Then once I eat again, I feel so stimulated that I'm pretty much up all night. And so I was up until like past 3 a.m. last night, just laying in my hammock on my phone. And then I woke up at like 6 a.m. And then also just from fasting, anytime I do a fast, I mean, my eyes get sunken in. And then usually they start to look better after a few days of eating. And then also just the heat. I've been in some really intense heat and sunlight. So anyways, I don't know why I'm trying to like, I don't know, tell everyone why my eyes are looking the way that they do. But I guess because I've gotten comments before from like fasting that my eyes look like really sunken in and dead, so felt like something I wanted to address, I guess. Yeah, Mexico has been really crazy, really amazing experiences. This town Mazunte in Oaxaca is like just one of the coolest vibing towns that I've been to. This is my favorite place in Mexico probably so far that I've been to. And I've been getting to have a few like psychedelic experiences, new psychedelic experiences. I did a peyote ceremony like over a week ago, and that was pretty incredible. And yeah, I feel like I have all these processes coming up in me, all these things that are like trying to be processed, all these like, it's been a pretty big roller coaster here in Mexico, which usually is the case when I go out traveling and adventuring, and it's great. I feel like insight is just flooding in, and I'm still just processing it all and don't know how to share all of it yet. I'm trying to see if I can get into an ayahuasca ceremony that they hold here, and then yeah, I think if I even can get in, or if they're holding it anytime soon, like in the next 2 weeks or so, then I'll probably do that and just be ready to go back home to the United States and start something new. I feel pretty complete here in Mexico now. Pretty much just sticking around for the drugs that I can cheaply utilize. And the cheap fruit and the sun. I mean, there's plenty of reasons why I'm sticking around, but I feel, yeah, like I said, pretty complete with Mexico right now and ready for the next chapter, which feels like going back home for a little bit. Okay, so we're doing it. This is Atulfo first. Doing Atulfo first because it's the most common and probably my least favorite out of these 3 varieties. And most people that are into fruit have probably had an Atulfo mango and already know what it's like. Of course, they're probably a bit better straight from Mexico. So I find Atulfos are a bit more like almost starchy-ish, I guess. Kind of more like spongy. They have really good flavor. I really love the color of them. They're really orange. I don't think they're necessarily as juicy as a lot of varieties, but they're not stringy at all, which is nice. But I don't think any of these varieties that I got are really that stringy. I think they're pretty similar in texture to a Tulfo. Yeah, just really sweet, kind of like a sweet sponge cake sort of thing. Okay, so that was delicious. Now we're going to do this other variety, the one I don't really know what it's called. Just a very common mango. This one actually doesn't even look incredibly ripe, or like it could be a little riper, a little more ripe. But it's not sour. Yeah, this one definitely isn't like as dense. It's a little juicier and just a little lighter in flavor. I think I've had a little better of this variety. I probably enjoyed that Atulfo a bit more than this one. Still really satisfying. Yeah, I think I just enjoy the juiciness of this mango. It's just like really wet. And really easy to chew. And the fiber is so soft. Yeah, so I think that I find the more that I sort of learn and grow and acquire knowledge, the less I just really feel like there's anything worthwhile sharing or something, or like I don't feel like I have any concrete evidence for anything anymore. I don't know, fruitarianism, or just like eating fruit, like fruit being very good for humans. That's about the only thing that I still have like a strong opinion on. And even that, I feel like I can take it to higher cosmic levels where it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it just seems like all my knowledge is just opinions. I'm getting into the Manila now. This one's my favorite. Yeah, like everything is just an opinion, and there just becomes like less of this desire to share anything with people unless I'm asked. But that's also just part of my personality type as well. I'm also very into like personality types. And yeah, I'm just kind of a more introverted and like self-observing, and don't typically share unless I'm asked to share. So there's also that. I think personality types play a huge role in just, yeah, how someone is. And yeah, the Manila. Really juicy, really sweet. It's like, I don't know if I can even say that it's sweeter than the Atulfo. It's just I like the flavor of it. It's a little softer and more gentle and juicy, and it's kind of similar to that last one I had. It just seems more flavorful. It just doesn't have that like starchiness that I feel like I get from the Atulfo mango. Yeah, these I could just eat all day. Pretty much not need anything else. But yeah, I think that's a big reason why I don't share a whole lot, is because I'll have like experiences that feel really impactful, really profound for me, or I'll do some psychedelics, or I'll go and fast, and it'll bring me like crazy insight and experiences that are just like bursting out of me that in some way want to be expressed, but I usually express them in poetry. Like my Facebook wall just like goes crazy after I've come down from a big psychedelic trip, because I'm just like typing nonsense. But it's really fun to express all that. But I just don't know how to convey it really well to an audience of people, or like if I even really want to. It's just kind of like, this is my personal experience, what I've gotten, and it's very difficult to describe. I think if you want glimpses of it, you'll just have to like read some of my poetry on Facebook or something. And there's basically just always a sense of like, oh yeah, life's just a cosmic joke, nothing really means anything, and I can just do whatever the hell I want. I mean, it's more elaborate than that, and I don't know, it's funny, just all the different layers of reality, and like all the different lenses and where you can come from. And whenever I'm doing psychedelics or other mystical things, like meditating a lot, then I have a very strong sense of like forever karmic reincarnation, and like a single lifetime is nothing. And I always have the sense that it doesn't even matter what you do in this lifetime. It's still going to be useful, even if you live a life that everyone on the planet looks at and says that was a wasted, useless life this person had. It's not true. Like, you still are of service to all that there is. Just you being alive, and honestly, just you having the most useless life on the planet is like a huge service for like learning and observation and discovering and experiencing ourself as like a total being, as like a grand psyche that's exploring itself. And so it's not actually possible to not be of service, no matter what you're doing. Basically, all experience is wanted by the universe to understand, know itself. And so just you being consciously awake, like having consciousness and thoughts and all that, is perfect. And so it's like I always want to go to these really deep places and like bring something back to share with people. But I find that I go there and come back with so much excitement, and there is a desire to like share it with everyone on the planet. But then very quickly it just is like, I'm back to like, okay, well, none of this really matters anyways. Whether I share it or not, I can share it because it's fun and interesting and what's alive for me, but it's not like any knowledge that I have is something that needs to be known by anyone. It's not like I have knowledge that is like really improving the universe. I just have these insights, and then I'm just content with knowing what I know. Unless I'm asked again. Like, I do love to share these things, but it seems like with my personality type, it's hard for me to express almost anything, at least ideas and philosophies and opinions and things like that. I don't typically care about expressing unless someone asks me my opinion on it. And so like right now I'm noticing that I'm basically just talking about myself. And yeah, I think I have this awareness that like it doesn't feel like I'm providing maybe something worth value to a lot of people. I think a lot of the time when I express myself and like what's going on for me. Mostly just talk about myself. I wonder if it's like less helpful than I would just make educational videos about a topic or something. But I don't think that's true. I think that they're both very helpful and entertaining, and they both help to fulfill whatever desire people have. Some people connect more through like feeling and emotions and empathy and just like a shared connectedness, and some people feel more connected like intellectually and through thoughts and opinions and things like that. And there's many other ways to connect as well beyond those. Or to like get inspiration, and I think a lot of it does have to do with our personality types and what we seem to have, like, you know, callings and interests and things, and most people say that these personality types and these traits and these desires and your interests, all your like real soul interests are basically given to you before birth. Like, as you're developing in the womb, your personality type is created in the womb with all your interests basically at a core level. And so we don't really even have control over what our interests are and what we're drawn to. We can pretend to come up with things that we're interested in, but not at like the core level, you know, like maybe we have friends or family that influence us to be interested in something, and so we get really good at it and we want to believe that we're really interested in it, like it's our entire life maybe. But a lot of the time that's just an interest that was like placed upon you from some outer influence, and it might not be like a core interest that you developed. So that's kind of the challenge when you have parents or people who really want you to succeed and be interested in something they're interested in, and they think that they can just kind of mold you into being interested in it, and it's just not really how that works. You may come across something that is already one of your core interests, and then it just clicks, and you find that it is what you want, but you know, that's not always the case. So we don't really have a choice in what we're interested in, I don't believe. We just have like destiny calling and pulling us towards some direction, and it probably doesn't make sense to us or make sense to anyone around us, but we just know there's something like tugging at us that we're trying to get to, and it might go against everything that society wants and believes. And so yeah, basically I think the choice is to follow those like ingrained interests and do what your soul is calling you to do, or to just kind of live in a forever ignorant or just kind of passive, not caring. And your interests don't have to look like taking action or doing anything grand. Your interests could be being completely like a very isolated, introverted individual who spends his time reading and writing, or just like in your mind a lot, just playing around with ideas in your mind. And it's a shame, in my opinion, that we sort of look down on that. I think a lot of different groups and people think that if you're just in your mind fantasizing all the time, then I don't know, you're not being productive, or you should change or something. But I think it's a really wonderful trait, and if you can be happy spending your time in there, just like coming up with mystical ideas, then that's a wonderful thing. So it's literally anything that you're called to. A lot of the time you're called to things that people will think you're like a failure for doing. or things that like seem like they don't produce anything. It's just novelty and like joy and fun. And those things can be hard to follow because of rejection from others, things like that. Okay. I think I'll end the video there. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below if you liked it or disliked it, or have anything you want to mention to me. See ya.